Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It's time for our weekly recap of Sistas. This is season 4, episode 14, and it was titled Money is King. Alright, y'all, so real quick, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button. Alright, y'all, so let's jump right into this because I just saw y'all in the other video. Yes, because I'm wearing the same outfit. It's the same day, same freaking hour because these recaps is fast because the episodes ain't that long. Anyway, y'all, so as Karen doing the whole damn, she mad, right? Aaron come back in. He like, what she say? And she was like, well, you know, she said I was pregnant. And he like, according to the timeline. And no, he didn't say that. She said that actually. She was like, and according to the timeline, you know, she was saying like it could be both of y'all. She like, I knew it. I knew it. She like, what's that smirk on your face? And he like, I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're not sorry at all. I'm not sorry. He's like, you know what? I'm not sorry. Because, you know, I want to be the baby daddy. I want to be the daddy of this baby. I will be a good father. You know, what's wrong with that? Or, like, what's wrong with me? Why you don't appreciate me, Karen? There's nothing wrong with you. I'm just saying I'll be a better father than Zach. Oh, you know that. Oh, you know that. Is that right? Yeah, that's my child in your belly. If that's your child in your belly, well, I don't know. We don't know that. Yeah, you don't want it to be mine. That's what I'm figuring out. You don't want it to be mine. I'm like, duh, Aaron. Like, when did you finally pick that up, my nigga? But anyway, he was like, but you know, it's another way we can find out if it's mine. I said, this baby not even the size of a pea, and you're trying to do a damn DNA test. Boy, if your son somewhere, she only 4 weeks pregnant. She don't even need to be telling nobody she pregnant. She just got pregnant. But anyway, of course, she says she wants some space from everything so she can understand everything, yada, yada, yada. He like, all right, I'm going to drop you back off at the salon because they did this whole back and forth. But no, I don't need you to drop me off. He like, I'm going to drop you off. But I don't need you to, Aaron. I don't need you. But, you know, he finally convinced her to let him drop her off. At work, Preston calls Dani at work or whatever, and she like, what you need, Preston? What you need? He was like, well, you know, I left a few things at the house. What you leave? You know, a pair of jeans and my cowboy boots and a hat, you know. Oh, okay. You know, I just wanted to know if you could leave them in a box by the door, you know, whatever. And so she was like, well, you can come just pick it up. No, I'm good on all that. I said, what? So she like, you good on when you start talking? Okay, never mind. So she was like, all right, well, I have it ready or whatever. You can get it tonight. Well, no, I got a date tonight. So, you know, I'll pick it up tomorrow. Okay. What time you leaving for work? 10. Okay, so I'll be there by 11. You should be gone by then. Yes, Preston, like, you know this already. He was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. Okay, so immediately Dani calls Bree up, and she wants Zach's address so she could pop up because she like, Zach got his handprints, his fingerprints, his hand all up in the cookie jar with this. Like, I need his address. Of course, Bree don't want to give it out because that's confidential, whatever like that. So she like, Bree, after all the lies I done told your mama and daddy, boy, remember little Mo in college? She was like, I don't say his name. All right, I'm not going to tell you he lived on the Mama Street at 155. Like, I'm not going to tell you none of that. So I said, girl, I hope they don't be monitoring your phone calls because you finna be fired. Anyway, Andy sees Fatima. Andy is in, I was about to say, how'd she see Fatima in jail? But she went to the jail to see Fatima again. And Fatima's taking it as a joke. She like, well, I just got my nails done. I'm finna go get my hair done and then watch a movie or whatever. She was like, girl, this is not a joke. Like, I meant to go meet with the judge, and the judge is not budging at all or whatever like that. So she was like, so I'm really not getting no bail? She was like, no. She was like, see, I could kill him. Like, you should just let me kill him. She was like, girl, you can't tell me and stuff like that. Like, what is you doing? She was like, yes, I can. You my lawyer, whatever like that. Look, I just slept with that man one time and I was drunk. And then when I saw his little dick, I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't fall asleep. She was like, Fatima, I'm just saying, girl, I just want him to leave me alone. I just want him to leave me alone. She was like, well, you ain't getting no bail, so you ain't call Zach. No, I do not want you to call Zach because Zach is like me. He will flip. She was like, what you talking about? I ain't never seen Zach like that. I know when somebody like me, okay? Once you flip that switch on, you can't switch that thing off real quick. So she was like, I do not want him to know because he's still on probation. I ain't got no record. And then me and Andy both was all like, what? You got no record, girl? That's shocking. But anyway, she was like, no, and he's still on probation and he will get locked up. He will go to jail, yada, yada, yada. So she was like, all right. She was like, oh, snap. It's 5 o'clock. I got to go. So she rushes out. We see Karen. She arrives back at work. And Karen is like real just, she like, bitchy. So she Aaron want to talk, of course, and she don't want to talk. She apologizes for everything, for sleeping with him and doing all this other stuff, and he just like, look, I just want to be here for you. She was like, I know. So then they had another pointless conversation, child, where he telling her like he gonna be a good pappy, and she like, whatever, this ain't your child, yada yada yada. So he was like, all right, okay, I'll give you your space. So then Pam, and then she was like, hello, how you doing, Karen? How you doing? Whatever like that, girl. I had to reschedule 4 of your clients and stuff like that. She was like, all right, well, I'm just running behind. I'll just call them and apologize or whatever like that. She was like, all right. Well, you know what happened? She was like, what you mean what happened? Well, I'm just worried about you. I thought that y'all had went down to the... Why are you worried about me? You don't need to be worried about me, Pam. You see, you just being nosy. You're always in somebody goddamn... Like, she was really cussing her out. I said... girl, that couldn't be me. So then Pam was just looking like, she was like, I'm sick of this bullshit. Something like that she said. And so she was like, what you say? I said, I'm sick of the greasiness on these seats. I was cracking up. But the people in the background was looking like, oh, what? She just cussing her out like that? Oh my God. Or whatever. But Pam had took a child. I said, oh, okay, Pam. Anyway, we see Gary. He calls Hayden. And basically, he wanted to know if Robin was back. And so Hayden was like, no, he not back. Like, why would he come here? He in London or whatever. He got a London office, so why would he come here? And so he was like, oh, okay, well, just let me know if dude pop up. So he was like, oh, okay, whatever. And so he was like, they hooking up. He was like, yo, watch your mouth or whatever. And he was like, well, whatever, I'll let you know. But guess what happened to Fatima? He was like, what? He was like, I got her like ass locked up. He was like, you locked up Fatima? He was like, yeah, he was like, she broke all my stuff or whatever like that. And so Gary was like, does Zach know? I don't know. But I'm waiting on his ass though. And he was like, but let me know how that go or whatever like that. So then Jake ends up walking in. And so he hangs up on Hayden. And so Jake like, Fatima? He was like, yeah, he had him arrested. He was like, what? He had him arrested? He was like, yeah, I don't know. That's probably part of Hayden's silly plan. I don't know, child. So then he was like asking, what's his face? Jake, was Zach legit? He was like, yeah, I mean, he sound legit, whatever. He knew a lot of knowledge about stocks and stuff and the FCC or whatever like that. So, I mean... like, he seemed legit. He was like, I think he just got lucky. He was like, nigga took a couple thousand and made a couple million. He was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just got lucky. I don't know. So he was like, well, I want to see how the FCC going to think about that. He was like, well, I don't think they're going to bother him. He was like, you don't think so? He was like, no. He was like, well, all right, Zach, good for him or whatever. So I was kind of figuring, like, is Gary trying to get Zach caught up in some shit? Like, is Gary calling the FCC on him? Because I thought Hayden was calling the FCC on Zach. But now it seemed like maybe Hayden had asked Gary to check in on Zach to see if it was fraudulent or not, and then he would probably have to call the FCC. Maybe that's what had happened. Because I'm like, well, why is Gary so invested? But then I remember that Hayden did come to the office and talk to him about it, and he said he was going to get him, but that plan looked like it's going to fall through, because now it look like Hayden and set himself up to like, he just want him to be a crash dummy so bad. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why? Who wants to get beat up all this? I just don't understand the child. But anyway, Gary ends up leaving for the day, and then Jake calls Zach and leaves him a message saying that he wants to talk to him. So Jake is flipping on Gary, it looked like, because it looked like he was trying to help Gary with the plan for Hayden, but now it looked like he might be trying to help Zach. I don't know, child. Or maybe he was calling him about Fatima. I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know down in the comments, because I was confusion. Anyway, Aiden, Andy back at work, hating again, walking all up on her, talk about, I heard you talk to the judge or whatever, because she was trying to walk past them. Of course, Hayden wasn't gonna let that fly. So she was like, you just trying to make it hard on me, huh? She was like, help me help you out or whatever like that. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why don't you just leave her alone? He was like, why always win? She was like, over Fatima? He was like, no, over Fatima, over her ex-con. Like, you know, I just want to make them miserable. She was like, oh, you so sad them hurt your little feelings. And so he was like, well, you know, whatever. Like, they ain't hurt my feelings. Like, I'm good over here. I said, you ain't that good, because you still bothering this girl. Like, I mean, she made you pussy with off one time. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like that. Anyway, so he was like, well, you talk to the partners yet? And so she was like, no, I ain't talking to no partners yet or whatever like that. And so he was like, oh, okay, well, we got a meeting to talk to get your little friend fired or whatever like that. And she was like, fired? Like, ain't nobody fired? He was like, well, once I talk to him, she's going to be fired, because, you know, I got a restraining order and she can't come within 50 feet of me, so they might as well just go ahead and fire her. She was like, well, if she get fired, I'm walking or whatever. And he was like, well, I mean, whatever. And so she was like, well, maybe you need to quit, because you know how much money I bring this company? Way more money than your little piddly ass can. So money is king. So if I say something, they're going to do what I say. So he's standing there looking all stupid in the face or whatever like that. And so he said something like, well, when you sleeping with she said something, oh no, she was like, is we done? And so then she turned to walk away. And he was like, well, you sleeping with the London arm. And so she was like, what? And he was like, yeah, we all know about it. We all know about it, whatever. She was like, well, if we all know about it, how about you leave me alone? So then she walked off. I said, girl, that's going to bite you in the butt. Because maybe he didn't get in trouble, because they that fraternizing. I don't know how I work in the law office or nothing like that. But anyway, so we see Dani. She just walks up in Zach's house. No knocking, no nothing, child. She walked up in the house and he was like, did you just walk up in my house? You ain't even knock on her? She was like, same thing you did to my place. Okay, same thing you did to my place. I just wanted to make sure you wasn't doing nothing illegal or nothing like that. Because I heard that it was some cops looking for you or whatever like that. So I was just making sure you wasn't doing nothing illegal, okay? And he was like, yeah, you know, well, I got arrested and they cleared it up. But she was like, arrested? What you get arrested for? I'm not going to tell you, because you're going to be nosy and send it back to your friends or whatever. So then, so she was like, well, speaking of friends, you and Preston been talking or whatever like that? He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, will you stop giving him all this bad advice or whatever? So she basically let him know, like, you giving him bullshit advice and he listening to you. I know what you're doing. Like, stop all that, because the advice you giving him ain't really work out for you when you was together with Karen. So why you think it will work out for me and him? Like, it ain't gonna work out or whatever. So here goes Zach. Well, because she was like, well, how'd that work out for you and Karen or whatever? And so he was like, well, I got me a new house and a better bitch. I said, oh, no, he didn't. So then she was like, well, look, you just need to, well, he didn't say better bitch. She said better woman. But she was like, look, but you still doing the same shit, because if you learned, then you wouldn't be telling him the dumb shit. You will be telling him some good shit to get me back or whatever like that. And so she was like, well, the only thing he proven is that if he want to go out here and date these other girls, that I can go ahead and date these other guys and just be good or whatever. I can explore too. And so Zach was like, but you risk losing him. She was like, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. He was like, well, okay, Daniela, all right. So then, of course, she asked for a tour, and then he wanted to give her a tour of the condo and stuff like that. But he kept calling it a condo. But it looked like a townhouse to me. That's what townhouses look like to me. But I mean, maybe it is a condo. Maybe that's what they call it. But who is me? Anyway, Maurice and Bree talk about Q squatting because they closing down the bank or whatever like that. So she like, well, you want to talk to him because he said he was going to be at your porch or whatever like that. She was like, look, he was like, look, I'm not finna talk to that man. Like, he gonna leave me alone. Like, well, we not gonna do that or whatever like that. And so he was like, but you worried about Calvin or something like that? Because she was like, well, what you doing tonight or whatever? And he was like, well, what you want to see what Calvin doing? Like, you could just come over. And she was like, no, I'm not coming over until he calmed down, and then maybe we can talk or whatever like that. So Maurice was about to leave, and so Maurice asked Bree, was she gonna be okay with the money and stuff like that? And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna be all right unless it's another bank robbery. And so Maurice was like, well, he ain't dumb enough to rob the bank twice. She was like, you sure about that? He was like, you know what, girl, I'm gonna stay right here with you. I said, we talk about Q. He is dumb enough to this man showed up with a damn bouquet of flowers with the card in there for Bree. Child, stop. So the tour over of the condo, and she wants to know how he feeling about Karen having a baby or whatever. And he's saying, well, you know, we don't know if it's mine. And she like, well, she think it's yours. So and he was like, well, we don't know because she was having sex with the both of us or whatever. He was like, but if it is mine, I'm gonna be there or whatever. So then she want to ask how Fatima feel, and I'm like, girl, you already know how Fatima feel because Fatima had already told you how she was feeling and stuff like that. And so he said the same thing. He was like, well, you already know because she had already told you how she was feeling at Andy's house or whatever. And so she was like, oh, well, she told you. He was like, yeah, because I'm in a mature, healthy relationship or whatever like that. And she was like, oh, okay, but how you feeling about Karen? And he was like, well, I love Karen, but I'm done. Like, I'm 1,000% done with her or whatever like that. And so she was like, but y'all was just bow chicky wow up in her office. So what was up with that? He was like, that was just weakness. And so she was like, okay, well, can she make you weak again? And he was like, no, not now that I have a woman that can make me feel this strong. I said, okay, you better tell her. Okay, Zach. Anyway, so she was like, oh, this is real nauseating. I'm about to go. But, you know, next time you give a person some advice or whatever, tell him to watch a Malcolm X movie and read a James Baldwin book. Okay? And he was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Again, I don't know what you're talking about. So then she leave or whatever. So now Maurice walked in. Child, and not Q and Calvin sitting at the goddamn dinner table eating smothered pork chops, collard greens, and mac and cheese. It looked like he came out the box though, but you ain't heard that from me. Anyway, Maurice looking like, bitch, what is going on? So Calvin was like, well, he was outside starving. He was, so I let him in. He was like, why is you so chummy? Like, what is going on or whatever? He was like, well, he was telling me a story and stuff like that. And Maurice like, everybody got story or whatever. He was like, well, come on, Maurice, just sit down. Let me make you a plate. I got your plate in the oven or whatever like that. Well, I mean, I'm not hungry. I'm watching my figure. Well, you should let me do that for you. No, I made your favorite. You don't know my favorite is smothered pork chops, collard greens, and boxed mac and cheese. I mean, it is my favorite. Okay, I'm saying. So then he sat down, and then Q started telling his story, and he was saying like his mom's boyfriend will come in his room and molest him, basically. So when he was 3 years old, he was molested and stuff like that. He told his mama, and his mom ain't believe him, and then that's where the story kind of ended. But I was like, that's some fucked up ass shit. Like, oof. I can't stand mamas like that. And I can't stand people who touch roots. We're not going to get on that soapbox, child. We're not going to do that. We're going to stick to sisters. Anyway, at BJ&L, I didn't know that was the name of the place. But that's the law firm, child, if y'all ain't know. Zach come in, and he's asked the receptionist that he looking for Fatima. So she was like, well, she's not here. So he was like, well, how about Andy or whatever? So she was like, okay, let me call her. So while she calling Andy walks around the corner. She's like, oh, shit, I was not trying to run into him. So he like, you know, where Fatima at? She was like, well, she's not here. He was like, yeah, I can see that. Like, where's she at? She was like, well, you know, I had her run a couple errands and stuff like that or whatever. He was like, all day. Like, she ain't answering my calls or nothing. Like, what's going on or whatever. And so she was like, well, I don't. She was like, well, you know, he was like, well, can we talk about this somewhere else or whatever? So she was like, okay, yeah, let's walk this way. As they walking this way, child, here come Hayden walking up the steps. I said, oh God, no. And so Hayden, like, he want to share the news. He want to share the big news or whatever like that. And so he was like, because I guess he heard Zach say where Fatima at. He was like, oh, I know where she at, whatever. So Andy like, come on, Zach, let's go this way. Let's go outside. Let's have a little chit chat outside or whatever like that. He was like, no, So then Hayden was like, oh, she locked up. He was like, what? What you do? Like, what you do? And he was like, I locked the ass up, you know, just so you know, or whatever like that. And so Andy was like, no. So Zach kind of trying to calm himself down because, you know, he about to. So he's trying to calm himself down. She trying to calm him down. I said, little Andy, come on now. But she's trying to calm down, get him out of there, whatever like that. And Zach was fitting to leave because he was like, you know what? I ain't trying to go to jail. This is what he trying to do. He trying to bait me, and I'm not trying to go to jail. Hayden over there being a little bitch, like, I got her locked up. Your bitch locked up. Your bitch locked up. I locked her ass up. I locked the ass up. Or whatever like that. And, like, he really singing. Like, he was like he was bopping with it and stuff like that. So, of course, Zach snapped. Child, next thing we know, Zach ramming into Hayden belly head first. I said, Lord, if he don't look like no goddamn bull running into this little red cape. That's how the episode ended, y'all. Oh, Lord. Y'all let me know what y'all felt about the episode down there in them comments. If y'all ended up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, what is you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time.